Yo, got a basketball game today. Supposedly it's finals. I don't think finals. Supposedly it's playoffs. I'm not sure if it's playoffs, but nonetheless, still playoff mentality. Looking to get that final, looking to get the championship. But let's worry about this first. Think win-win. Principles of interpersonal leadership. We have committed the golden rule to memory. Let us now commit it to life. Edwin Markham. One time I was asked to work with a company whose president was very concerned about the lack of cooperation among his people. Our basic problem, Stephen, is that they're selfish, he said. They just won't cooperate. I know if they would cooperate, we would produce so much more. Can you help us develop a human relations program that will solve the problem? Is your problem the people or the paradigm? I asked. Look for yourself, he replied. So I did. I found that there was a real selfishness and unwillingness to cooperate, a resilience to authority, defensive communication. I would see that the overdrawn emotional bank accounts had created a culture of low trust, but I pressed the question. Let's look at it deeper, I suggested. Why don't your people cooperate? What is the reward for not cooperating? There's no reward for not cooperating, he assured. The results are much greater if they do cooperate. Are they? I asked. Behind the curtain to one wall of this man's office was a chart. On the chart were a number of racehorses all lined up on a track. Superimposed on the face of each horse was the face of one of his managers. At the end of the track was a beautiful travel poster of Bermuda, an idyllic picture of blue skies and fleecy clouds and a romantic couple walking hand in hand down a white sandy beach. Once a week, this man would bring all his people into his office and talk cooperation. Let's all work together. We'll all make more money if we do. Then we would pull the curtain and show them the chart. Now, which of you is going to win the trip to Bermuda? It was like telling one flower to grow and water another. Like saying spearings will continue until morale improves. He wanted cooperation. He wanted his people to work together, to share ideas, to all benefit from the effort, but he was setting them up in competition with each other. One manager's success meant failure for the other managers. As with many problems between people in business, family, and other relationships, the problem in this company was the result of a flawed paradigm. The president was trying to get the fruits of cooperation from a paradigm of competition. And when it didn't work, he wanted a technique, a program, a quick fix antidote to make his people cooperate. But you can't change the fruit without changing the root. Working on the attitudes and behaviors would have been hacking at the leaves. So we focused instead on producing personal and organizational excellence in an entirely different way by developing information and reward systems that reinforce the value of cooperation. Whenever you are the president of a company or the janitor, the moment you step from independence into interdependence in any capacity, you step into a leadership role. You are in a position of influencing other people, and the habit of effective interpersonal leadership is think win-win. 6 paradigms of human interaction. Win-win is not a technique. It's a total philosophy of human interaction. In fact, it is one of 6 paradigms of interaction. The alternative in paradigm are win/lose, lose/win, lose/lose, win and win/win, or no deal. Win/win. Win/win is a frame of mind and heart that constantly seeks mutual benefit in all human interactions. Win/win means that arguments or solutions are mutually beneficial, mutually satisfying. With a win-win solution, all parties feel good about the decision and feel committed to the action plan. Win-win sees life as a cooperative, not a competitive area. Most people tend to think in terms of dichotomies, strong or weak, hardball or softball, win or lose. But that kind of thinking is fundamentally flawed. It's based on power and position rather than on principle. Win-win is based on the paradigm that there is plenty for everybody, that one person's success is not achieved at the expense or exclusion of the success of others. Win-win is a belief in the third alternative. It's not your way or my way, it's a better way, a higher way. I like that. Win/lose. One alternative to win/win is wins-lose. the paradigm of the race to Bermuda. It says, if I win, you lose. In leadership style, win/lose is the authoritarian approach. I get my way, you don't get yours. Win/win people are prone to use position, power, credentials, possessions, or personality to get their way. Most people have been deeply scripted in the win/win mentality since birth. First and most important of the powerful forces at work is the family. When one child is compared with another, when patience, understanding, or love is given or withdrawn on the basis of such comparisons, people are into win/lose thinking. Whenever love is given on a conditional basis, when someone has to earn love, what's being communicated to them is that they are not intrinsically valued or lovable. Value does not lie inside them, it lies outside. It's in comparison with somebody else or against some expectation. And what happens to a young mind and heart, highly vulnerable, highly dependent upon the support and emotional affirmation of the parents in the face of conditional love? The child is molded, shaped, and programmed in the win/lose mentality. If I'm better than my brother, my parents will love me more. My parents don't love me as much as they love my sister, I must not be as valuable. Another powerful scripting agency is the peer group. A child first wants acceptance from his parents and then from his peers, whether they be siblings or friends, and we all know how cruel peers sometimes can be. They often accept or reject totally on the basis of conformity to their expectations and norms, providing additional scripting toward win/lose. The academic world enforces win/lose scripting. The normal distribution curve basically says that you get an A because someone else got a C. It interrupts an individual value by comparing him or her to everybody else. No recognition is given to intrinsic value. Everyone is extrinsically defined. How nice to see you here at our PTA meeting. You ought to be really proud of your daughter, Caroline. She's in the upper 10%. That makes me feel good. But your son Johnny is in trouble. He's in the lower quartile. Really? Oh, that's terrible. What can we do about it? What this kind of comparative information doesn't tell you is that perhaps Johnny's going on all 8 cylinders while Caroline is coasting on 4 of her 8. But people are not graded against their potential or against the full use of their present capacity. They are graded in relation to other people. And grades are carriers of social value. They open doors of opportunity or they close them. Competition, not cooperation, lies at the core of the educational process. Cooperation, in fact, is usually associated with cheating. Another powerful programming agent is athletics, particularly for young men in their high school or college years. Often they develop the basic paradigm that life is a big game, a zero-sum game where some win and some lose. Winning is beating in the athletic arena. Another agent is law. We live in a litigious society. The first thing many people think about when they get into trouble is suing someone, taking them to court, winning at someone else's expense. But defensive minds are neither creative nor cooperative. Certainly, we need law or else society will deteriorate. It provides survival, but it doesn't create synergy. At best, it results in compromise. Law is based on an adversarial concept. The recent trend of encouraging lawyers and law schools to focus on peaceable negotiation, the techniques of win-win, and the use of private courts may not provide the ultimate solution, but it does reflect a growing awareness of the problem. Certainly, there is a place for win-lose thinking in truly competitive and low-trust situations, but most of life is not a competition. We don't have to live each day competing with our spouse, our children, our co-workers, our neighbors, and our friends. Who's winning in your marriage is a ridiculous question. If both people aren't winning, both are losing. Most of life is an interdependent, not an independent reality. Most results you want depend on cooperation between you and others, and the win/lose mentality is a dysfunctional to that cooperation. I can't really remember where I saw this video from, but in high level negotiation or high level deals, most of the time it is a win-win situation. And these are people that are spending a lot of money, have a lot on the line, and they still come to the table to meet in the middle and say, hey, it's going to be a give and take situation. I'm going to give, I'm going to take, but you're going to give and you're going to take, and we're going to make this a win-win situation, not a lose-win or win-lose. And I think that's super valuable, even in your own personal life, your relationships, like your spouse, your marriage, your work, and whatnot. And having a win-lose mentality really, I think at least in my opinion, goes back to the idea of what's your motives, what's your centers. Are you a principle-centered person? Are you a winning, over everybody else, no matter what kind of person, a centered person? So I don't think it's sustainable, in my opinion. I think you not only attract the wrong people around you, but you start to make decisions that ultimately aren't benefiting you in the long run. So that's what I like to think about win-win. I'm not to say that I am a win-win mentality person. I definitely feel like sometimes I'm a lose-win, sometimes I am a win-lose, but I think working towards a win-win mentality is always beneficial, not only in business but in your personal life. So yeah.